Welcome to Schulte Sweeties YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie and I'm a homeschool mom of 3 girls ages 11, 7, and 5. And today is a collaboration with Niki at Homeschoolology. And today the subject is homeschooling multiple ages. And so I have kind of a wide range with having an 11-year-old down to a 5-year-old. She is out of the toddler stage, so that is helpful to us, but it is still kind of hard how we need to school all of them and think I only have 3, but to homeschool each of them and give them the attention that they need to work on those subjects. So I hope that you will check out the playlist below of other moms and their tips and tricks on how they homeschool others. I'm sure it will be insightful and maybe some helpful tips for you as you work on homeschooling your kids. So the way that I have kind of started doing things, especially this year with my youngest, is kindergarten. And we are starting kindergarten with the intention of we might still be doing kindergarten work even next year. She's a very young kindergartner. So I've started her with doing a little bit more schoolwork. What I do is before I work with her, she's my first one that I actually work with, I set up my oldest, who's 11, to I kind of write down in her planner what I expect for her to get done independently. And then sometimes I write in there like what she'll work with me on later in the day. So I set that up with her, and she works on that usually in her room. So she has no distractions. She was working in our basement with us, and she would get easily distracted with my younger kids, especially if they were playing. So we have just set her up in her room, and she goes to work. So then I come down and I sit at the desks with my youngest, and I work with her first. I used to rotate, but now it's just I'm going to work with her first because she has the shortest attention span. So we usually can get in. She is still working on the Good and Beautiful preschool. She's preschool book, but she's almost finished with that. So we do a lesson or 2 a day with that, a little bit of math or handwriting. I don't do very much, and I can almost always tell when her attention has gone away. So so after that, I move on to my middle daughter, who's in 2nd grade, and she has a lot more of an attention span. And so we get her work done, and really their independent work is finished usually well before lunch, but by 11 at least. So then I let them go play. I check in on my oldest daughter and make sure she's doing okay. If she has questions, she'll ask me that. If she's pretty much finished, we'll do her other work, but a lot of times she isn't. I start working on lunch, getting lunch ready, and after lunch, they go and read. And so that's a time for me to be cleaning up lunch. And then that is our time where I like to do subjects together. And so family subjects is how we make schooling work a lot of times. I was going to attempt to separate it and have my oldest do her own history and science this year. Just nice to not have them separated, just so we can include everybody. So I do have to be very careful that I'm not going to bore my other kids and that it's still fun and interesting in their learning. But I also want it to be challenging enough for my oldest daughter and that she is learning as well. So this year we've started doing actions and reactions by Guest Hollow, and also Geography Junior by Guest Hollow, and those can include any of those grades. So what I've done, I pull a lot of like books or videos. That is how we do a lot of learning, in that we do experiments a lot with actions and reactions, so they love the hands-on. We do a little bit of trying food with the geography. So those are our things where they're family subjects, and we're including all of them. Usually I have either more like hands-on activities, like, I don't know, just keeping their hands busy. for my younger two, or coloring sheets or crafts or something, they just love those things. My oldest does not, because, well, she's never really loved the crafts or coloring as much. So she does like to draw. So if they're paying attention and just coloring and things, then I'm fine with that. But that really helps my younger two stay on task and hopefully a little bit quiet. They like to interrupt me a whole lot, especially when I'm reading. So that can always be fun and take a lot of time. And we try to include Bible in that time too, but we do a devotional in the morning as well. And then after that, that's pretty much, I can get about a good hour for my younger two, and then they're kind of off doing their own thing. So that's when I usually take the time now and go through anything that my oldest has questions on, and then the subjects that I need to work on her with. Usually it's like Write Shop, and then what else do I work on? Oh, we do read History Quest together. We had read History Quest with my younger two sometimes last year, and it was just going over their heads. Neither of them are really into history as much, and so it was just way too much information for them. But my oldest just loves hearing the stories, and she's really good at reading comprehension, so when I read aloud, she remembers it. So we read that together, usually a couple days a week. But I try to take it so that my younger two are off, like playing together at that time, whether it's outside or something like that. And then right before bed, we usually sit around, they have a snack, and we will read our read aloud that evening, like usually just about a chapter, because they interrupt me so many times with different things. But we have fun, and that is how we try to get books that all three of them can understand, which I will usually explain a little bit more, especially to my younger ones if they need to. And then once my younger two go to sleep, I do spend a little extra time with my oldest reading. We read a book together as well, usually a chapter book that we're reading. We just finished Percy Jackson, the first one. So I try to like have that extra time with her reading something, usually something to do with like what she's studying. Like right now we're reading Detectives and Togas, I think, or can't remember. It's one of there's two different books that we have, but it's about Rome, and we just finished Greek mythology, or we're kind of still on it, and that's what we just finished, Percy Jackson. So we try to do that, and so I'm spending a little bit more one-on-one time with my oldest in the evenings as well. So I'm trying to, I do the independent work with each of them, and I have a special time with each of them, and then I bring them together, and hopefully I'm accomplishing what we need to in that time. So it is very difficult. Don't be discouraged, especially if you have even younger kids that are like trying to get into everything. It is hard sometimes to homeschool multiple ages, but know that they are sponges, and I feel like they're soaking up so much. Even if you have to do lighter days, you don't get everything in a lot of times. It'll all even out, I think. And I don't think that you need to be hard on yourself, and that you can accomplish homeschooling even with younger kids all the way up to older kids. Thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to check out Niki at Homeschoolology, and also the playlist below. Thanks.